All right, so I'm going to be hanging out. We're going to hang out. I'm going to have lunch, and then I'm going to give updates, all the information at this point in time, as of the present moment, based on what I can perceive, all the what I can perceive, what I've comprehended, what I've learned about. So I'm going to let you know where I'm at with the ascension and the energy and the wave, the event, all like it's yeah. So anyway, I'm hungry. I gotta eat. I'm just gonna leave it on. So we're hanging out, right? So and I'm gonna eat, and then I'm gonna get into this stuff. So I'm sorry if I'm not like here the whole time, but I figured it would be maybe a little different just to like hang out. So we're gonna hang out. All right. Yeah. Just gotta check one thing real quick, and I'm gonna start cooking because I am hungry. Okay. Okay. All right, that should be good. Should be good. All right. And how you guys doing? Welcome. Welcome. Cool. 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 I want to see a book. I'm using it as a mouse pad outside because I have a glass table, and the mouse won't work. But numerology. That's so funny. I didn't do that on purpose. It's just my little mini library in my house. I have books like that. For a long time, I was just taking all stuff in and just kind of learning some about. I was learning some about as much as I could, and then the things that were super awesome, then I dove deeper. Anyway. There's an alarm in that noon. I think it's a noon, 12 o'clock in the East Coast. It's 12 o'clock noon. So you hear that alarm whistle thing. That's just the local town testing their thingy. All right. So just to let you know, I am going to cook on the grill, a little lunch for me, and we'll be touching base with you periodically. And then, like I had mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, definitely going to give you updates on stuff I know, stuff I'm aware of. Doesn't mean that it's exactly 100% on the money, because Nobody really can fully discern anything with 100% certainty. It's more about probabilities and likelihoods. So yeah, so the momentum, right? I'm going to get into where the momentum is going in our physical reality. We got a lot of rain last night, so not a lot, but we got a storm, I should say, early this morning. So the flowers got a lot of water. So I'm just helping them out. It's important to keep your plants water, but too much water totally screws them over. So. If I decide to keep this like on my regular channel for a while, or just for normal, just to leave it up, and you're watching this and you want to skip ahead to like in more of the information, what I'll do is I'll just kind of do one of these for about 5 seconds. That way you can kind of either fast forward and mute it, you know, double speed, or just skip ahead and look for that, and then that's when you can skip all this BS I'm doing now. I might not be able to see the comments, so I apologize if that's the case. Preview. What's up? Honey mustard? Yeah. All right. Coming up. Well done. Well done, burger. All right. Sounds good. So this isn't like fluff and filler. I'm just, like I said, I'm having lunch, and then I need the energy, so then I can get into the real stuff because there's important stuff to go over. Hey, Suso, what's up? Yeah, that's good. You caught me. I caught you. It's good. Yeah. So I just don't know how many more opportunities we're gonna have to share our puzzle pieces in order to be more fully developed in this times to be able to handle the changes more smoothly. In other words, the more we know, the easier this shit's going to be. Not easy, but easier, smoother. It can be very smooth and easy. So it'll be less bumpy the more stuff we share and the more information we have, right? But yeah, so I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to do this before we have our interruption. So I want to make sure I get caught up with everyone today. Yep. So it's Monday in August, right? August. Each month, reality is very much movie-like now. So we're into the month of August. It's 12 months in a year. We're on number 8. We're almost halfway there through it, and on to month number 9. I think we all know what happens on month 11. And then month 12, yeah. So 2021. My God, things are gonna be so different so soon. It's just so big. I don't spend a lot of time trying to look at all the edges. It's way too big. I'm definitely in the being, right? I'm not doing, I'm being. That's kind of the, like maybe a year ago, I started to really get better and better at non-attachment, and nowadays it's getting better and better at just being. Yeah, people are waking up. The Great Awakening is definitely that's part of what's happening in our present. The Great Awakening is we're probably more than halfway through. If you had to put a linear, logical time 3D like time frame on it. We're like probably a little past halfway through the Great Awakening. Yeah, every day people are waking up, and ever since I was born in 1970s, every day I've been alive on the earth, is from what I can perceive, there's been an increase in the overall percentage and overall number of human beings who are quote unquote awake. And that accelerated greatly in the past approximately 3 years. Things occurred in what a lot of people who are into this stuff would call the fourth dimension. So it's between here and 5D, right? So that middle ground, the astral plane, the dream, where you go when you dream, the place that the negative entities hang out, poltergeists, elemental realms. So there's all this 4D stuff, right? Anyway, I'm sorry, like I was saying, I gotta eat. I gotta get the energy up so I can do what I have to do. But I just wanted to hang out with you guys, right? As well. So it's cool. Hey Donnie, what's new, Donnie? It's hot. I'm a baby though when it comes to heat. Seriously, once it hits about 85 Fahrenheit, I don't like it. When it's like, and if it's humid and around 90, forget it. Oh my God. The old me, the younger, anything prior to the last 10 years, I like hot. And then the last 10 years, it's cold. I like cold, and I can't stand heat. Bright light, like it's too bright, sunshine, So as I get more and more acclimated to who I really am, getting the effects of 3D interface. Interface meaning the 5 physical senses into this 3D realm. Though I'm having it's being affected by the higher energy that's coming in. The way I've described it historically is you're getting a higher percentage of your overall soul into the physical vessel. 100% of your soul, the body explodes. I did want to finish my point though real quick. So every day of my life, more people wake up as far as I can perceive, and then it accelerated, tangibly accelerated around 2017, and then when Corona hit and the worldwide lockdown occurred, that was when it accelerated to this unbelievable speed at which people were waking up, and the Great Awakening is occurring. Can't stay for too long. I got Alley Cat. You guys know it. Some of you guys know Alley Cat. She's out. She can't be out for too long though. She's not an outside cat. Allie, come here, Allie. I want to say hi to your friends. I'm not gonna bring you in. I'm taking you in. We're gonna go this way. We're gonna go this way. We're gonna go see our friends. Come on, let's go this way. I'm not bringing you in the house. We're just gonna go see our friends. We're gonna see our friends. Here's an alley cat. Yee. You guys remember that? Like, that's okay, Suso. It's cool. It's cool touching base with you, sir. The long and short of it is that things are going to get way more intense, and the good stuff is getting real close. And the worse it looks outside, the closer the good stuff is of getting here. And I think it's going to get real crazy real soon, which means it's going to get real good pretty damn soon. Yep, good old Elm Cat. Speaking of. Hang up a little bit, Elliot. You go inside, all right? Oh, thank you, bro. My shovel. Good. Elliot, you're not going down there. I feel bad because in the apartment, we live on the third floor. We put her. She can go out on the patio and hang out, but on the patio here in the house, like she can get out in the yard, and I just can't do that. Double stuffed. Oh my god. I my my one of my nieces. That's her favorite video I made. She's younger, not really into like Mandela effect, but just the double stuff video that I did. Like I couldn't believe it. Double stuff. But how did they change it so much? Double stuffed. I don't. All right. So things are going to get a lot sweeter than they already are. Whew. Doesn't mean that that's going to be your timeline, though. That's what the awesome brilliance of whatever the creator of everything is that even though, yes, the too sweet vibe is connected to most of the timelines that are on all these trains heading away from the New World Order timeline. But yeah, so but your each specific timeline will have variances, so it won't be too sweet for you, I promise. But I might have misunderstood. You might have been talking about something different. Alrighty, let's see. If you're just joining, I want to get some information out, just updates on where I'm at with on comprehension and knowledge and such insight. Just I need to eat first. Figured I would come on early, hang out for a little bit. But I'm almost done cooking. I'm gonna eat and get my energy level up, and I will share what I gotta share. So I apologize. It's not what you thought it was going to be. Oh, cool, Suso. What's up, Crystal? That's funny. I miss Europe. I was going to go to Europe. I went once out of the United States last summer. Me and my girlfriend went to Europe. She has relatives in Hungary, Budapest. And I got to spend 2 weeks in Budapest. And I can't wait to go back. And then Corona hit, and now it's going to be a while. In my window of reality, I'm thinking freaking world peace is going to be halfway erupted, but before I can get to go there, because things are going to be quite things are going to get quite interesting, in not the nicest of ways when it comes to traveling to other countries for a little while. Because once it's safe enough to travel to another country without all the hoops you'd have to jump through with the restrictions, I could go on this, like I could give a long list of reasons I'm not interested in going to Europe right now or traveling abroad just in general. Interesting sounding animal bug. But by the time you can go to another country and not worry about like the virus stuff or mandate stuff or having to wear a mask in the plane stuff, extra security in the airport stuff, freaking we're going to be in the midst of a new reality. So yeah, so I'm not really thinking too much about visiting Europe again in this version of reality. If this stretches out for it's a 5-year transition, then yeah, it's going to be an amazing 5 years. But yeah, so anyway, we have a lot. I guess you could say we have a lot to talk about. All right. Let's see. Jersey. Yep, I got Yep, I'm in. I'm close to Chicago for a big city, but I'm in Michigan. So yeah, but pretty close to Chicago. Not anywhere near the city itself, but that's the closest to me. I'm not sure how if I'm gonna like eat a messy meal like up right next to you guys. I'm not sure. I haven't thought about that yet. I guess we'll find out. All right. It's hot and I'm famished. Well, no, that's an exaggeration. Sorry. I'm somewhat hungry. My energy level is a little low. That would be more truthful. Suso, if you're still there, thanks for getting me or for linking me with Macarba crap. Macarba Carpet, I believe his name YouTube name is. Pretty awesome. He just has a very peaceful serenity. There's this there's this part of the Ascension where you're going to surrender to things, and it's like when you're really far from your ego, you can surrender. He's nailed that. This ginger ale is so, I think it's so good. It's the only ginger ale I really truly enjoy. I'm sure there's brands out there, but for all the like main brands you see in the stores, I like Schweppes tastes so much better. Mercaba Carpet, yeah, I love that guy. So he's seriously that guy. He gets it. A lot of you guys do too. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, you know, he everyone has a different puzzle piece, so to speak. And yeah, he he's just has a very, like I said, a calm serenity about what's happening right now. Nice. Good to know. Yeah, the whole like calmness. So for me, like I had a noticeable change and shift in energy right around mid-March, right when the worldwide lockdown was hitting. I mean, I could tell you pretty much day by day what it was like for me during those first days starting on March 13th. But the calmness, calmer than ever before for me. But yet the excitement level higher than ever at the same time. Completely nuts, and I love it. Incredible calmness and incredible excitement bundled into a feeling that I don't have a word for yet, because some people probably would say that's a 5D type of feeling, the vibe. So there's like frequency, vibration that's connecting everything. Everything, it's just like a finger. Every human has a fingerprint. Vibrations, everything has a vibration, color, sound, objects, collections of energies. Everything has some sort of vibrational signature. Anyway. It's so hot, but I want to be outside. I mean, if I was going to do this, I was going to be outside for sure. About 3 or 4 more minutes. I feel like I'll be ready to actually have a conversation. XCOM said it, XCOM. Yeah, I mean you guys do remember Bree's comment. You do remember in the United States at least, or why we were told to temporarily wear some masks, right? When you couldn't distance, wear masks. Originally, the whole concept, the whole rationale. A lot of you are unplugged from the news. Others are plugged into the news, and some are unplugged from the news. Like, but at the same time, worried that it's an NWO, New World Order timeline. There's a lot of different views out there. Point is, if you recall, the reason Americans were told, and it depends on your state, why you're going to wear a mask, or why you're being asked to wear a mask, or told. The hospitals in the United States of America were considered vulnerable or at risk of literally running out of space. Literally, in the entire building, not enough beds. There were estimates of these really, really, really catastrophically large numbers of deaths and illnesses from this approaching virus. I do not have in my brain the exact numbers, but it was staggering sounding. So to make sure the hospitals have the ability to physically house and manage the amount of people who would be ill simultaneously. The key here is simultaneously ill, where you literally can't fit everyone. So people start dying because they can't. There's no hospital to go to. All hospitals are full. So we needed to make sure. That's why that flatten the curve thing was talked about. Flatten the curve, right? So don't get to a point where the hospitals literally get over flooded. So yeah, so that we were expecting this potential wave of illness, like just going to just rock so many people, like most people would be getting their ass kicked, and then of course people would die. This does not downplay people who have died from this or any other thing. But I'm talking about back in when this masks were first talked about. So yes, so it was about making sure that the United States of America, this is focused on the U.S., this part right here, and the hospitals in the United States could not go over its maximum capacity and be physically able to house everyone who's sick in the buildings. So, I mean, I'm not going to rehash what happened step for step, but we saw what happened with the hospitals. Anyway. So that was temporarily wear the mask. So this brings me all the way back to Bree's comment about a new sign on the door. Now you need to wear masks, right? So all this time's gone by. The April pretty much was where the numbers were highest, right? Come down, there's based on numbers that are being shared through mainstream sources. There's a little bit of an uptick, right? In the last little bit. Doesn't seem most people from many different angles are saying the second wave isn't really a second wave. It doesn't seem like there's a second wave, but yes. So anyway, so all this time goes by, and the rules are getting more stringent, and I have a very comfortable understanding of what that's all about. But looking at it from a neutral perspective, yes, things are getting more stringent as all these months have gone by, and the threat of dying from the illness is far from the perceived danger it was January, February, March, right? So it seems a little bit odd that there's more and more rules being implemented now. So yeah, so that's my response to that comment. All right. So yeah, so I'm going to talk about, there's 3D, 4D, 5D. These are just labels. These are just words connecting to concepts. But these concepts are connected to these words, and you could say they're different levels of awareness, consciousness, energy. I don't know. The words are very limiting, but there are 3 layers that I can talk about that have distinct and unique properties. The 3D world, the physical earth, the 5 senses, here and now, human bodies, your brain, biology, DNA. Actually, DNA is all over, but in the physical, you can still see it, right, in the physical. So 3D world, that's what we're, the corona, military, peace, love, war, foods. Then you have 4D. That's a huge, huge thing. 4D, right? Because now we'll get into that in a second. 5D. So the 5D. No. I'm gonna jump back. Let's talk about 4D. So 4D, we're influenced greatly by. This isn't going to be an exact black and white painting that describes it, but I'm going to give you the words to connect the concepts so that you will either have an understanding of what to look for, and then you can find out for yourself through your own research or own self-search inside, or these words will trigger or open parts of you inside to connect to these concepts, and you will get like a download, as some people will call it. So 3D, 4D, 5D. So 4D, that would be connected to the realm of the dream world, of astral travel, out-of-body experience, near-death experience, where the jinn live, the genie in the bottle, so to speak, fairies, elemental realm, the place that your thoughts exist. So like thoughts as a concept of a conscious thoughts having their own life force, if you will, at some level. The thoughts exist in that realm. Symbols, symbology, astrology influences energy that affects people. So that's the 4D influences and the symbols, right? So I'm going to refer to the powers that were, the Cabal, Illuminati, Deep State, all these names, but service to self-oriented individuals. Okay. That's a little bit easy, not easier. That's a little bit more accurate, because those other ones are just so labely. But service to self-oriented individuals, they're going to use symbols, triangle, pyramid symbol, and one of the things is they'll take the good symbols and then invert them. There's a lot inversions thing to do. They make it opposite. Everything's opposite. The whole like 1984 Orwellian stuff. It's very much connected. Very much connected. But anyway, these symbols are used to affect people's consciousness. The 4D level affects you in the 3D by what you're consuming through your ears and eyes, and you're taking, or in your dreams, you're seeing these symbols, and it's affecting you in a certain way. And there's technology that exists in the 4D realm that can then affect these symbols, or no, let me rephrase that, affect you as you see the symbol, and then it can enhance the effect in a negative way even further. So in other words, the bad guys hanging out behind the scenes in a dimension just past this one can influence physical reality, cause a synchronicity, or influence somebody else directly to show you a symbol. The symbol is inherently negative to you, but then they use technology to make it to make you more vulnerable to its effects, and then it affects you more greatly. And then times that by, let's say, happens millions of times a second for hundreds of years, and then there's a million other things that happen. The scale of what the negative forces have done, it's mind-boggling. But the good forces are even more powerful. And this is, again, using words to connect concepts that words don't do it justice. If you have a dark room and you hold a candle up, one little candle, the dark pretty much gets its butt kicked, because dark cannot exist in the light vibe frequency. There's so much love flooding the planet now that's why the dark ones, more connected to the alien, negative aliens leaving, cannot survive in this love vibe. And I was explaining this in some videos in the past, 2016, 2017, water boiling in a pot on the stove, and the temperature of the water gets so hot, there's so much love, and the water's boiling, and that love turns the water into vapor. And so it's like if the bad guys, or the service to self energy, it goes into that heat, it evaporates. The water is a service to self energy. It can't exist. It's too hot. If the stove was 1,000,000 degrees, you could throw a 10 a 10 million bucket gallon of water, 10 million gallons of water on something that's 1,000,000 degrees, and it will evaporate in less than a second. So the environment is not conducive to evil anymore here. For many, many, many years, I knew this was coming. I don't think I could explain it fully to say, okay, Sean, how did you come to this understanding and have so much faith, confidence, or whatever you want to call it? But anyway, so I understood that this was the outcome, but the timing was a mystery to me, and the details were a mystery to me. And when the worldwide lockdown hit, and this was for my conscious awareness in March, something triggered in me. And that's when I realized the timing was very freaking soon. And the details were, oh my God, a worldwide lockdown and a supposed killer virus is what's like the opening salvo of this like end times. This is the end game. And I put a video out. It was my end of the world Corona edition video. And I'm telling you, it's like there's like 2 seconds ago in the fourth quarter. This is it. Now the game's over, but the bad guys in 4D have a way to create a very very much false hologram. So the Earth we see now, not for everybody, because they talk about the 5D, 3D fluctuation. It's gonna be hard for me to summarize in words how that works, but you can be in like two worlds at once almost. But yes, so this whole fake version, it's being powered by that 4D level. And in the 4D level, just like this 3D level, good and evil. There's a duality. There are opposing factions. And in this local realm, we'll call it our solar system, flat Earth doesn't really fit into pretty much anything I've ever learned, except that it could be possible that we are isolated somehow, and that the outer space and everything I learned about, let me rephrase that, the outer space and these star systems that I have connections to are quite real, but that the shape of the Earth is completely crazy, or maybe it's flat, I don't know. So the shape of the Earth could be wacky. I haven't been up there to see, but the outer space connections are totally legit. I mean, look into the secret space program. My goodness. All right, so got sidetracked there for a second. So yes, so there is this false. So the game's over. Like I said, the good guys won on this timeline. These timelines were on, but there's still some juice left in the 4D place. There's technology running on that juice. All right, this is very, very, very relevant for a lot of you now. This is important, and some of you have heard this already from others. The juice that's keeping this show running in this 4D place to make the 3D illusion, the juice is running on people's negative, or on human beings' fear and anger. That's the power source. Just like the movie The Matrix, first Matrix, suggested. Yeah. So now you might look at the world and say, well, they're doing a hell of a job. Doing a hell of a job. Look at the level of fear and anger in the world, right? Doing a hell of a job. That great awakening piece and the shift in people's energy. There's many of us out there, someone like me and probably someone like you. You've had an enhancement of your energy. So it's people who are strategically placed, millions and millions of people strategically placed here for this very reason, and the Great Awakening occurring at the same time for those who are quote unquote asleep. And that's such a powerful force that the fear tactics are not enough. Not nearly enough. Now, if there was a different setup to keep this in the 4D level, if there was a different setup and this illusion, this hologram could continue to be presented in a different way without needing the energy of the humans, then yes, it would be a different ball game. But at this point in time, as of only in the last couple of years, things have changed to where they need the human anger or fear. Due to the Great Awakening, the overall percentage of, because you got the people, as people awaken and start to lose anger and fear, and then they influence those in their immediate environment, or it depends on who you're connected to, but you'll affect others to lessen the anger and fear in the world. And cumulatively, as we move forward, and a higher percentage of people are waking up, the level of fear and anger overall in the world comes down. Now, yes, there are little blips in the game, right? Something bad happens and the fear goes up for a minute. But overall, the trajectory is less, less, less. We're going to reach a tipping point. And when the tipping point happens, that's when that flash from the great central sun, the center of the galaxy as we perceive it in 3D, it's going to go through our sun and somehow hit us. And I am, except for the QHHT stuff I've studied, I have very little insight into what it's going to look like. I have insight into what it's going to feel like. Get ready to cry. But I don't know what it's going to look like. And from my understanding, it could be very visible or it could be not so visible. But you are going to feel it and you're going to be laying down. Oh boy. But yes, so that tipping point is crucial, and we're getting there every day. We're moving closer to that tipping point. And if the negative forces and 4D are doing not so nice things here, it accelerates the Great Awakening. Certain psychics out there would connect that concept and explain it in such a way where things are backfiring from the old Kabbalah does stuff and it backfires. All right. Hold on one second. Okay, so my understanding is that we're protected. At this point in the game, that 4D realm has so much good service to others type conscious beings in our vicinity now. We're protected. So if you identify as light worker, warrior, starseed, if you identify with those concepts, you're protected. You're going to be safe. You still have your free will and you still have your destiny, but you're safe. Like if you're worried about some sort of something forced into your body, that's not going to happen to you. If you know people who are good people, good heart, they have no idea about the big picture, they're going to be protected. If somebody is kind of a jerk, but they're okay, and they're like 51% good and 49% bad, they're going to be okay. So yeah. So as long as you're at least 51% a good person, you're going to be just fine. I don't have full comprehension on what happens if you're less than 50% good. Once again, these are words describing things that are hard to describe well with words, so that's very limited, but it is something we have available until we're all talking telepathically, which is going to be very soon. Please get out of the big cities. The sooner the better, because at some point it's likely to get. Now these are the potentials, right? The timeline potentials, the probabilities, the more likely than less likely outcome. But get out of the big cities. There's, let me say there's disclosure, right? Disclosure is something I've touched on numerous times. It's at this point, that's my understanding with disclosure, it's very big. We're talking disclosure of aliens. We're talking about disclosure of who's actually the evil ones on the planet. We're talking about disclosure of hidden technologies. We're talking about disclosure of our hidden past history, disclosure of so much. But the real big, I think, is going to hit home to so many people. It's not going to be the technology of the aliens. It's going to be who is evil and what did they do, and for how long have they been doing it. That's going to be hard for people to come to terms with. But that is needed to push enough people to make a conscious decision on who they are and what they stand for. And when there's enough people who are standing up for who they are, and there's enough of that love vibe flowing out of people's hearts into the atmosphere, and then that's going to trigger it's a catalyst. That's the catalyst that causes this wave that's been prophesized and foreseen. But you want to get out of the big cities, yes. So disclosure, that's when there's going to be a brief moment of extreme chaos, and then everything's going to be great. So right, intense chaos, great, and then we're the world peace timeline is like we're there. Before disclosure, it's going to be dangerous to get in the big cities, and each day that goes by it gets slightly more risky. You want to stay out of the big cities. It's just a lot of heavy energy, so I would answer specific questions about that, but there's no need for me to go into why. At the very least, food shortage issues in the big cities. How? Because the trucks can't get over the bridges or get through the highway area to get to the big cities, or no power, right? Things that can affect all of us: communication cut, power cut. If those things happen, then the end is so close, and that's great. The end of the game, the end of the movie, that's going to be the most beautiful love scene, like no pun intended there. So once everything seems to come to a head and it's like this is the end of the world, like maybe if you're like concerned about New World Order takeover, all of a sudden electricity's off and your communications are off, and all of a sudden you hear like the emergency broadcast system going off, and you see a tank in the street, you see army, you see military, U.S. military personnel in the streets, like hundreds of them. You're gonna like lose your shit, and then no, this is that's the end of the game or the end of the movie, and it's a beautiful love story. Those that are the most profoundly intuitive in the world are pretty much unanimous to how the movie ends. I'm not quite connected to that way of perceiving information, but yes, it's definitely that's how it ends. They're right. I know it. I know they're right. But of course, with timelines, you have free will choice. You could jump out of these timelines. At this point, 2020, it would be so hard. No, I take that back. You can still jump to like out of this timeline, but as more and more things come to the surface, we're really the lines are getting drawn in the sand. We're really crystallizing into who we are. So yes, it is going to be hard to jump to a timeline that's too different from what you're on right now. An hour from a city, I think you're all right. You just don't want to be. The less crowded, the better. The less crowded, the better. So, but if I am not able to provide any kind of detail into how close to the city before things start to get a little hairy. But at the very least, it's like the downtown, big. So the more congested and the more crowded. Think about it. If the food starts to run short temporarily, and this is if this crap plays out before disclosure. Consider disclosure as like the light switch turns on. Boop, right? I think that's a great analogy. The light switch turns on. Game's over, party's over, right? We're playing in the dark. It's dark in the room, and there's like you're at a sleepover, slumber party, whatever you want to call it, right? And you're like 11, 12 years old, 10-year-old, and your friends are over, and you're in the dark playing like wrestling matches in the dark. And did I used to do this? No, but somebody in here I'm connecting with. But so anyway, you're in the dark, and then mom hears all the wrestling and roughhousing and horseplay. Mom flicks the light on, everyone freezes, right? That's what's going to happen when disclosure comes. So all of this crazy bad stuff stops. And there's reasons why. And there's 3D reasons. There's 4D reasons on how that actually plays out. But it will stop. The light switch goes on. Disclosure. Game over. Not the end of the world. It's the end of that chapter, that book. Time for the new book, the new earth, the new world, the new dimension, 5D. Different words, same concept. So when things get really bad, which it could be any time now, that's when we're even closer to the end of this game. The ending could be instantaneous through this solar flash type of situation. After a critical mass is reached. The ending could be a slow, several-year process. The several-year process seems to be more likely, but I ain't ruling out. I think this wave thing is going to come, but I ain't ruling out some one time boom, right? But if it's spread out, you're going to see amazing changes. The economies of the world, the financial systems of the world, completely different. Everybody's going to get a basic income for food and shelter, and everyone's going to have free energy through technology that's available. So you don't ever have to buy electricity or gas, because you'll have a device that powers everything forever for free, which has been around for a long time. Tesla sure developed that stuff pretty high. He was rediscovering it. We had it way long ago. Atlantis, even way before that. But anyway, so you're gonna have free energy, and you're also gonna have your universal basic income. So you will not have to pay. You can look this up. It is out there. Some people already have it. Corona kind of triggered that stuff. So yeah, look it up. So universal basic income, UBI. So that means you don't have to work. You can just do your hobbies all the time if you want. But people will be able to work on things that they feel passionate about. It's gonna be great. So yes, there's things called Nesara Gesara. So you can look up Nesara Gesara, Nesra. I'm not even sure. But Nesara and Gesara is it's a change. I'm not going to try and articulate it greatly, because I know enough about it. I'm good. The vibe of it, oh my God, heck yeah. But basically, when push comes to shove, debts are going to be wiped out. There will be no such thing. So if you have a car loan or a mortgage or credit card debt, all of a sudden you're going to look up one day and there's going to be a zero balance, and the bank's going to say, it's been paid. There are people out there who seem to have a pretty good comprehension on where that revenue comes from to make that work. But yes, don't be surprised. That's out there too. You can do your research on that. It was a couple times it was supposed to come out. Really messed up is, from my understanding, they were going to pull that. They were going to come out with that in September of 2001. Yep, I think September 12, 2001, or something like that. You can look into that if you want. Interesting line of interesting subject to look into. So anyway, yeah, it's going to be amazing one way or another, but it's going to get pretty wild. This next little bit is going to get wild. There's a hot war. It's heating up. Depopulation will not happen. That has been the goal for a long time from the service to self individuals. There are the Georgia Guidestones that reference the preferred number. But yes, so let's say there's 8 billion humans on the planet. So they would, a lot of them would like this. A lot of the service self individuals would probably want to see 7 or 7.5 billion go away, so that there's only about 500 million left. So yeah. So no, depopulation won't happen. It could have happened on other timelines where the majority of humanity was not ready to get along with each other. The timelines where the negative forces, I'll even use the context I was using. So that 4D realm, again, remember I said that what if there was a way to generate enough energy to keep the illusion going, this fake holographic version of 3D that we're looking at with our eyes? What if there was a way to power that indefinitely, right, without necessarily needing the fears and anger of humans? Well, that was supposed to be the case. So then what would have happened with depopulation would have been successful. And it's very dark, and I'm not going to really spell it all out, at least the puzzle pieces I have. If you were to ask a very specific question, I would certainly answer honestly, but I don't really like the vibes connected to here's what that would look like. It's here, but it doesn't have to. And I'm willing to put it here. You'll have to ask a very specific question. But definitely depopulation, no. That is an epic fail. Yeah. Yes, there's definitely levels of consciousness. Yeah. We're like in this soup of energy. It's like the ocean, right? We're one droplet of water in the ocean. we are definitely a droplet of water, even though we're in the ocean. Like we have awareness of our droplets, but we're literally in the ocean. So yeah, and then there's all these variances. You know, then you're a bucket of water, then you're a lake, and you're an ocean, then you're a planet of water. Anyway, there you can connect the realms in different ways. So yeah, so the 4D realm, right? So that's huge. Symbols. I'm going to give you a very specific thing. So there was symbols that were broadcast to the world in, I don't know, April, May time period, maybe June, and that had to do with a black cube. I didn't see a single one, but I heard they were out there. And those who are service to others oriented had insight and intuition and knowledge of how to negate the negative 4D effects of that symbol on people's consciousness as they viewed it and interacted with it. So those individuals that were helpful were able to negate the negative effects. But yes, that cube. So that is using symbols from the 4D, from a 4D perspective. These symbols are affecting our consciousness in such a way, negative or positive. So yes, so that's that black cube was an example. Another symbol that human beings view with their eyes in this 3D realm that affects them in their consciousness in a 4D level, and if it's for negative, that's not good. And the kneeling. And I don't know enough about it to give you all the angles of it, right? But there is something about the kneeling that's been done lately. See, I'm not trying to get into people being harmed by others and how to make it right. The BLM stuff, and I mean, yeah, I could talk for a long time about how to, I don't know, how I feel loving towards, you know, all the different types of beings. But anyway, so that kneeling, there was something nefarious about that. No, I don't know exactly how that worked, but I have a connection to those who have full awareness that was nefarious. Timeline. When you say timelines, then those timelines exist on the same Earth realm. Does it mean each continues to exist in the same time period entering New Earth? Okay, so, all right, so timelines. Let's see. Every second that you exist alive in this human body, in this world, every second you're making choices. Whether that's what muscle to twitch, finger to move, elbow to move, where you're going to scratch, if you're going to stand up, as you're walking down the street, what pace you're going to have, how far do you take your steps, what do you do with your hands as you're walking, when you're having a conversation, what are the exact words you're using. Every second you have many choices available to you. Every single time you make a choice, you move into a timeline where that choice is part of the history of that timeline. You made all the choices. You made all the choices, and all those timelines exist. And then from all those choices, you had all the choices available from all those extensions, and all those timelines exist. And it goes on for infinity. So that's timelines, everything, and all versions of you. So there's an infinite amount of you out there who made all the different decisions. There's law of attraction stuff, that quantum jumping stuff that connects you to a concept where you can then move your consciousness out of this physical avatar Earth body into a very similar physical Earth body that made different decisions in the past. So you can actually shift into it in the present, because there's only the present. You can shift to a body that had a different past, hence a different timeline, because it has a different future. So by change, and how that works is you change your present consciousness, your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs. You change that, and you change your timelines. Deep state, yeah. So they're like right now, right? So to the best of my knowledge, we're almost done. This movie's almost done. But there are other timelines where this movie is only halfway done. And there's other timelines where it's just getting started, and it's going to take. There are other timelines where people were too slow to wake up, but they're still going to pull out of this and not have a New World Order prison planet timeline. They're going to have an Ascension timeline. So, but it's going to take more to wake them up, like a natural disaster, like a meteor causing a tidal wave, or the bad guys like nuking something in the ocean, causing a tidal wave, or something like ridiculous. Or this Cabal situation, the deep state stuff, would be like they would be almost knocking on your door, ready to give everyone, you know what, or before people finally like woke up enough to say enough's enough. And then once they say enough's enough, the lights turn on. Another good way to see how this is going to work is when that tipping point is when enough people at the same time say enough. So when people have enough collective pressure to say we've had enough, that's when the light switch turns on and everyone has to freeze. The bad guys can't play their games anymore. That's a good question, Bree. If we are aware of a symbol, we are looking at being evil. Does it still affect our subconscious? So here's the cool thing. A lot of those symbols that affect us in a negative way are actually positive symbols that have been inverted. Inversion. So if you're looking at a symbol and you have conscious awareness of how symbols can affect you, and you have your own willpower and determination to have not be affected negatively by that, you're good. Your energy is going to basically go boom, say nope. Should be good. All right. So yes. So you're good. If you have just that's all you need. You just have to have that presence, that awareness. Now, if you don't know what you're looking at, and you look at it from a neutral perspective, or you even have a good, like, you really like it, it looks nice, it can have a negative effect on you. Now, this is not so relevant now because the quote unquote bad guys have lost most of their ability to do these negative things, not completely. And I mean, Simon Parks, last time I knew, Simon Parks said they have a lot of power still, and Simon Parks is really connected. But most people in the last couple of weeks, it really feels like we're really accelerating down this roller coaster now. You got it, Bree. So I was just going to say, so that one of the things they used to be able to do is, let's say there was going to be 200 good-hearted people who are going to have a collective meditation for peace or love or something. The negative forces would be aware that was going to happen, and then they would channel that energy to basically redirect it so it doesn't do the helpful stuff. But that's been mitigated through awareness, and because they had just are losing their ability to keep up that type of game. All right. Let's see. When you go to a better timeline, is the one that the timeline you, let's see. When you go to a better timeline, is the one you, and timeline sent. I think what you're asking is the other version of you. Yes, the other version of you is going to live a totally separate life. It's wild, right? The other version of you is going to have a totally separate life. Yep, same soul. Think of your souls, it's into a trillion pieces. But that's okay, because each piece contains everything. Look into how holograms work, and in a hologram, each little piece has everything in it, right? Your DNA pieces, they have like the code. So, but yes, your soul's in a trillion pieces. So yeah, there's the version of you that made the other decision is living their life there. Some people who are super sensitive and psychic can actually communicate or at least perceive and see what their other versions are doing. With law of attraction, you're going to move into the life of one of those other versions of you. Every second you move through time, you're moving into a different version of you. I don't know if I can get into the full how does time work, or at least the little puzzle piece I have about it. All right, so I need to do a couple things. I'm probably going to hang out for a little bit, but I am going to have to wrap it up in a little bit. All right. Let's see here. One second, guys. Okay, great. Alrighty. So yeah, so there's plenty of different versions of you out there. Hey, what's up? I'm a long time. The burger was good, but not great, which is good because I'm slowly getting less and less pull to these earthly pleasures, if you will, which is good. But like I said, about a year ago, that non-attachment I was getting really comfortable with it. So like, there's not a lot that keeps me connected to what you would call 3D anymore. Right, all the beautiful nature. That's, I mean, that's as far as I'm concerned. That's in all the realms, right? So that's 5D where we're going. But yeah, not too much left in 3D. Like even like good food doesn't get me excited. Like I don't know, it's weird, right? But the feeling I have in my heart area, heart chakra, whatever, the like sensations are very pleasurable. A little bit like just a little bit of bliss feeling, right? That's cool. Don't get me wrong. If I'm hungry, good food's gonna really hit the spot. But yeah, but I'm like not even like getting up for like awesome food anymore. When you say timelines, then those timelines exist on the same Earth. Does that mean? Oh yeah, I already asked. We already talked about that. But it's not the same Earth because this Earth and the universe is your soul's dream, right? When you go to sleep at night and you have a dream, and then you're in your dream world, and it looks like 3 dimensions and has physical objects and voices and people and movement and cars and a sky. So that's a dream world, right? It's like it's being created. Well, your soul is creating this, what you call this. So there is no physical Earth. It doesn't exist. It's all in here. There is no spoon, right? The Matrix, there is no spoon. It's so freaking true. All right, guys. All right. If anyone has any like questions, you feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'm gonna eventually I'll probably bring on people to interview. That'll be cool. That'll be fun. But yeah. All right. Just some parting notes. I did allude to some things getting more intense. Just be mindful if you are hearing about earthquakes that are occurring at a shallow for an earthquake depth, 2 to 3 miles maybe. Earthquakes that don't usually occur, or they don't occur very often there, like maybe like almost never. Yes, something to look into. Probably not an earthquake. Probably not an earthquake. Yeah, there's a lot out there, but all right, I'm gonna get going. But it was cool. It was cool hanging out. All right, so you guys be good. Enjoy the ride. It's gonna get wild, and then it's gonna be amazing. That disclosure, when those light switch turns on, watch out. It's gonna be the day that no one forgets. It'll be you'll have it like what you were doing when that disclosure hit. What you were doing, you'll always know because it will be burned into your brain. All right, love you guys. All right, yeah, good having lunch with you guys, and until next time.